Hello, and welcome back to the technical guide to Factorio! Woo! Oh, so good. This time, people, we move to our final act. We actually begin legitimately working on pieces for the rocket, not just preparing to work on pieces for the rocket. So, between episodes, I've done a bit of work to try to increase productivity as well as shifting our logistics system around a bit so that it's easier to begin producing the things we need for our eventual rockets. We also got the legitimate research for rockets, which is the rocket silo research, so we can produce everything necessary to launch a nice, beautiful rocket. So what we do specifically is we begin the production of satellites, which are necessary to load into a rocket before it can actually launch, because it's the satellite we're actually launching up into space. We also begin the production of a rocket silo, which is pretty much a very specific assembler that only assembles rocket parts and then will eventually actually launch the rocket out of it. And then we also begin the production of rocket control units as well as solid fuel and low-density materials, and setting up the logistics systems necessary to actually get those resources over to the production sites. So without further ado, let's get straight in there and start building our rockets. Okay guys, it's time for the final stretch. So we have the rocket research, and it is time to begin producing things for the rocket. Let's actually look at those things. What we need first off is, well, we need two things first off. We need a rocket silo, and we need a satellite. So the rocket silo acts as pretty much kind of an automated producer, specifically for the creation of rocket parts, which then become a rocket when you have enough of them. And the satellite is something that we need to eventually put inside of the rocket when the time comes. So the first thing we're going to do is work on setting up a system to create the launch pad. Now the launch pad is somewhere in this list of things. We'll find it, I swear. It'll be here. Where is it? There it is. There we go. It requires a gargantuan quantity of resources in order to produce. We need 1,000 concrete, 200 processing units, 200 electric engine units, 1,000 steel plates, and 100 pipes. And that's a lot of stuff. So in order to build it, we're going to need an assembly machine Mark III, which allows you to craft objects of really an infinite quantity, made up of an infinite quantity of resources. So I could build something that requires only 2 resources to build, or as many as 100, which is nothing in the entire game, so don't even worry about that. So these higher level resources are going to need these yellow automated assemblers. Now, in addition to that, we should start building some of the things we've already set up the line for. So this area was built to create low-density structures, so we may as well start that working. And that'll start putting them into this passive provider chest once they're all done. Maybe we need another picker to do the steel, because it seems like it's not picking things very quickly. That is unfortunate. We want good productivity, people, not slow productivity. Slow productivity might as well not be productivity at all. Come on now. There we go. That should do it, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We also want to begin producing rocket fuel, which should not be too hard. Let's see. Rocket fuel right there requires 10 times solid fuel and is produced, I believe it was in a chemical plant? No. Okay, we can just build it in anything. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. So we will do that. And as we do that, we'll also put this dude down right there. So this, we could have used this passive provider chest to move the resources to a area farther out to produce our rocket fuel, but given that we have the space, there's no need to spend all of that extra energy to run all of the logistics robots, and then, you know, literally we could just use a single picker. Seriously, that's a disgusting waste of resources if we were to use logistics robots. Come on, people. Who do you think we are? Some sort of, like, amazing miracle worker? Because based on the size of our factory, maybe we are some sort of ridiculous miracle worker, because I don't even know how we built all of this. So there we go. That should start producing rocket fuel, which will be important later. Now here's our nice little dude for the rocket pad. So what we need is a requester chest, which I think we just need steel for, most likely. Yep. We've got our logistics robots bringing both copper plates, iron plates, and electronic circuits in, so we have the majority of resources always available to us. But, you know, we don't have everything, because we don't have everything in a passive provider chest, because I just couldn't be asked. It's too much effort, really. It is a lot of effort. So we're going to have fast inserters picking from both the steel production, so that it, you know, brings in all of the steel necessary for this rocket base, as well as from this requester chest. And this requester chest, once we actually get things actually fired up and, you know, doing things, because right now it's doing literally nothing, which is literally the best. It's really not. What we need is concrete. We have that in a chest somewhere. I don't even know where. So let's find our concrete. Where is the concrete? There it is. We'll set that to 500. Nah, 200. We don't need to have as many things as we need to build the assembly, to build the rocket silo, because, you know, it'll store it up there. We'll also need processing units, which we also have in a chest somewhere. I don't even know. We'll have that at like 50 at any time, because we'll need processing units elsewhere. We need electric engines, which I've put into a passive provider chest, and we'll just have 50 stored in there at a time. And we'll need pipes, which we don't really have anywhere. Is this covered by logistics area? It really isn't. Oh no. Oh no! We're gonna need to get a new RoboPort. Cause we failed. Okay, advanced circuits, we need 45. That's not too hard. So the one other thing that we need are pipes, which really shouldn't be a big deal. We should be able to... I think we have pipe production somewhere that is not even close to at capacity. Yeah, this right here. So what we can do is use a smart inserter to pull pipes out of this area and put them into a passive provider chest, because this isn't using even close to as many pipes as we're actually producing. And we'll have those pipes sent all the way up to our requester chest for the silo, which once we actually get up there, we can, you know, fill with stuff. Okay. And that will pretty much cover the rocket silo, because for the most part, I mean, everything's already being produced. We don't need to worry about producing anything else. We just kind of need to worry about making sure that things actually get over here. We can have that work that way with 50 pipes. And that is nice. So that'll create the rocket silo. And the next thing that we'll need to produce are probably the satellite. The satellite is really the thing we need to produce next. So what we need are solar panels, low-density structures, basic accumulators, radars, processing units, and rocket fuel, which is clearly a bunch of stuff. We need a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna need another yellow assembly machine in order to produce that, and we'll also have to wait for the RoboPort to actually get done, because the roboport takes a long time because you have to build 500 million advanced circuits because apparently we didn't have all of the advanced circuits in our inventory to begin with. Bad planning. Bad planning. Nice. We're getting a actually disgustingly small quantity of rocket fuel at this point. We should probably work on actually expanding that because we're producing, I believe, more solid fuel than we're using. No, actually, I don't think we are. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I take that back. I take it back. We're not producing more than we are using, which will eventually mean that that system slows down even farther. How sad. So there we go. That should start moving all of these resources out to here, and this will start filling up with all of the necessary equipment. Before we move to the production of that, the satellite, we'll first get that pipe section worked out because, I mean, without pipes, nothing will get done. Pipes are the key to all of society, apparently. I mean, I'm just claiming this. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but at this point, given that our society is kind of built around building rockets, which I guess we have a society. Not actually certain we have a society, quite frankly. It's kind of just us here with a bunch of robot things trying to make our way in the world today, and quite frankly, it takes pretty much everything we've got. You know. So, let's see. Now we need to produce our satellite. Satellite, come to me. We shall do our job quite nicely. So we'll build it up next to the rocket silo as well. And I think we'll have it that these objects are not pulled out of the assembler machines afterwards, so that it limits the quantity of these things that we actually build. Because quite frankly, I don't want 500,000 rocket silos. In fact, I don't really want more than one, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. So for this satellite, low-density structures, solar panels, basic accumulators, all sorts of jazz. I've been stockpiling basic accumulators because I knew I would need them, so we'll get like 50 of those in there. We'll get solar panels in there. We'll get... What else did we need? Low-density materials? We got low-density materials. What do you want about? Get low-density materials in there, like 50. We'll need processor units, like 100. Yeah, that's fine. We'll need rocket fuel, like as much as you want to put in there. 10, that's fine. And the only thing that we need, and we definitely don't have, are radars. So we'll need to build a small line for the production of radars. And you'd say, oh no, this is going to be complicated. Oh, I'm so sad. But don't you worry, people. It will not be complicated because I've already been working out making certain that we have the resources for radars in our little, you know, logistics system here. Yeah, that's right. I've been thinking ahead, people. I've been thinking quite a ways ahead. Where in the world is a radar? There it is. Okay. So all that we need are... Oh. Logistics Robot Speed 4. How topical. Thank you very much. Could you please begin working on Logistics Robot Cargo Size 3? This will increase the amount of stuff that a logistics robot can carry to, I believe, 3 units per robot. That'll be great. That'll be amazing. So now we need yet more requester chests and all that jazz, which will maybe require more steel, because we just seem to never have enough steel. Steel is the worst. Oh, look at all these robots flying around. I mean, remember what our factory looked like before? There were a bunch of ant robots flying around. Now they're just everywhere. They're literally everywhere, just doing their thing. It's amazing. I love it. Adds so much of a dynamic feel to the overall factory. It's so nice. I'm gonna stop talking about it now because it's kind of getting weird. Here we go. We will fill this with, I believe it's basic circuits. We'll just get 50 in there. We don't need any more than 50, and we'll get some gears in there, which will be 50. And we'll get some plates in there, which will also be 50. How nice. Oh my word, look at that train. So nice. And then we'll have that put into a passive provider chest, which will be ecstatic. Looks like we'll probably need to increase our steel production at some point because it doesn't look like it's producing enough at this point. It's kind of sad. So there's our radar production, and we should send those radars out to here at a very small quantity, really. We only want probably the amount that we actually need to build it. And that should, in time, actually produce the satellite. Oh, man. The production of these things is so much easier when you have a logistics system. You know, I did this in my original factory without a logistics system, and it was terrible. I have to say, it was really bad. Oh, it was so hard. I can't even describe it, people. It is an indescribable level of evil trying to build this without logistics robots. My God. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, so we got the satellite being produced slowly. We got the rocket silo being produced with some speed. And we need to... Is this actually a passive provider chest? It is. Is it sending stuff places? Oh, yeah, no. I get it. The fast inserter just isn't fast enough to actually load all of the stuff that's getting put into that requester chest, into the assembly machine. Oh, poor fast inserter. He's going to be working quite hard there. So, now that we've got a satellite and we got the rocket silo being worked on, we'll need pieces for the actual eventual rocket doohickey thing. So, this is pretty much what we need to do next. Rocket control unit requiring processing units and speed modules. I told you we would need speed modules. And quite frankly, we're going to need quite a few rocket control units because we need quite a few rocket control units. Why? We don't need a better explanation than that. So these rocket control units will eventually be fed into the rocket silo, which creates the rocket parts, as I've said slightly earlier. Just wanted to reiterate so you understand in case you weren't quite aware of what was going down. There you go. Isn't that nice? Now you know. So we will need quite a few of these because we need quite a few rocket parts to actually finish the rocket. So to build these nice little objects, we simply need processing units and speed upgrades. Yeah, the only reason I got speed upgrades. Well, I mean, mass-produced speed upgrades. I don't really think mass-producing those little things is necessarily worthwhile. Unless you really want to build, like, the highest level of them, then it's totally worthwhile. So we don't want to use fast inserters there. What we want to do is use these guys. We're going to request in processing units, as we've done previously. We definitely don't have enough processing units to build all of the stuff that we currently are like working on. It's kind of ridiculous. And we need to request in... What was it? No, don't request those. Don't even. We need to request processing units and speed modules. That's it. I keep forgetting speed modules. And we'll just bring in like 20 speed modules. And what we will do is have a little system that... Oh, this is going to be a bit less beautiful than I thought it would be, but it's fine. Will it? Yeah, it will be. This is poor placement. Very poor placement. Okay, here's how we'll do it. We'll move this little thing back so that this can be a bit more beautiful. What we want to do is create a conveyor belt that sends all of these things down the line so we can have a continuous, like, production on multiple fronts of this stuff, which is a lot of jargon, and quite frankly, a lot of jargon I quite enjoyed saying. So there we go. So we'll get these all set so that it does what it did before. And here we go. So this is going to be just creating our standard two-sided conveyor belt system. Look at that. Look at how nice that is. Now we can pick off of that on both fronts. That being both of these assembly machines. And then I don't know, I guess we'll be happy? I mean, I can't promise that we'll be happy at all. We may well be completely unfulfilled by the entire rocket launch. We may just realize that everything that we've done was just totally not worth doing, which would be quite sad, but at the same time, you know, you gotta live with what you gotta live with. It's unfortunate. But hopefully, you know, we'll be totally fulfilled, and that'll be great. So that'll send those in there, and we'll have our rocket controller units being produced and then sent into, oh, take a guess. Take a guess, people. Too late. We're sending it into a passive provider chest, because that's what we do. Don't really know why active provider chests exist. Pretty sure it has something to do with the circuit system. There are circuits that can be built in this game. Never done it. Don't really see the purpose. It's usually for very advanced systems. Usually, as I understand it, you can like limit the amount of stuff that you produce through like little circuit systems or something like that. It's crazy. I don't know how to do it, so don't ask me. Don't even. So there we go. We've got our first rocket control units being produced. Oh, that's quite nice. That's actually very nice indeed. Beautiful. We also need to start actually producing more solar panels, which is going to be a bit of a problem. Well, will it be a bit of a problem? I mean, it will be a bit of a problem because we won't have enough batteries to run everything that we need, but really, once we start these solar panels, the only thing that's going to be, like, neglected in the end is, I believe... Oh, we don't even need batteries for that? Oh, yeah, the reason we stopped solar panels was because we didn't have enough steel. Which, quite frankly, we still probably don't have enough steel, so... that's not good. That's quite unfortunate, actually. Oh, no. How sad. Okay. So we somehow need to get more steel actually flowing through this system than is flowing through right now, because it's currently being terribly bottlenecked by a single smart inserter that is just not doing its job anymore. It's not the smart inserter's fault, it must be said. It is the fault of the system within which the smart inserter exists. How sad. Oh, and then it's really limited by this guy. And I think it's more limited by that single picker than it is by anything else. So let's get a fast inserter on this dude so we can send all of the steel all the way up there. And then we will have... Ideally, we want to get steel on both sides of this. Ooh, I just produced like 5 smart inserters. I did not want to produce 5 smart inserters. We're going to do it anyway because it can't be asked, but that was not the best. So we ideally want, as I was saying, resources on both sides of a conveyor belt running in to this system. So we'll probably need something like that. I mean, it'll be lopsided in one direction because it'll be putting more resources onto this side than on this side. But I guess it's good enough. Close enough. Don't think it'll matter in the end. Excuse me. So it'll be fine. Oh no. Actually, we can't even do that because if we send this dude over here, it's going to actually filter a bunch of resources directly onto there. And the last thing we want is stone getting into our nice steel production. Because seriously, people, stone and steel need to remain segregated forever. Quite frankly, they have no business being anywhere near one another. I don't even understand why they're on the same production line. Hint, electric furnaces. Okay, so maybe they do have a reason being together. But I still believe that they should be separated on a fundamental level. It's not good for society if steel and stone intermingle. There we go. That's nice. And as this next conveyor belt fills up, this should also fill up and allow more resources to be picked off by the fast inserter, kind of. That's nice. So now we got more resources heading up here, which should speed up the overall rocket production, which is, in my opinion, absolutely beautiful. Maybe, well, probably not. it could have the potential to actually, you know, filter resources past this rocket silo to the low-density structures, which we can probably actually do because we'll need more flow than we have here, because the output is 1 fast inserter. The input for the rocket silo is 1 fast inserter, so in theory, resources will never get past the rocket silo's inserter to get to the low-density material, which also, quite frankly, needs some steel. So the only way to allow things past is to use 2 fast inserters. For the win! Sheer volume beats everything. Love it. So once that actually catches up, more steel should be able to pass through, although it appears that steel is already passing through anyway, which is, in my opinion, somewhat strange, but what does it matter? Well, for now, that will bring us to the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Next time, we will have our rocket silo produced. We'll have, well, we might not necessarily have the satellite produced, but that won't be a big deal. We'll have the rocket silo produced, and we will actually start working on the, assembly line for the actual rocket itself, so we can launch it into space, because we need a rocket if we want to launch a rocket into space. It's just a thing. But until next time, thanks for watching, and of course, enjoy the rest of your day.